So we didn't really get to recap. We'll work that in a little bit, or we'll try to work that in a little bit this week. But pretty eventful week, especially in the NFL. I'll start with college though, where we did not have good weeks. I just want to put that out there.
Dude, I've been on the down. I had a very good first 8 or 9 weeks, and I have not been good the past month. I gotta really focus in on my picks here.
So in college, I finished 5-6 last week. You were 6-5. Just not a good week. I still got you. You caught ground on me. I'm up only 2 games. Time's running out though.
Yeah,
games getting canceled left and right. We don't have
close.
We have a full slate this week. I'm not sure we're gonna have a full slate next week because of conference
West
championships.
Virginia's already canceled.
West Virginia game's canceled. That was one of the games I had picked. Now I had to pick something else. But I got 12 games for you. For the most part, I mean, I don't think it's going to be a great weekend of college football, but let's get started. Number 9, Georgia at number 25, Missouri. I don't know how Missouri's ranked, but Georgia is a 13-point favorite.
Did somebody really good go to Georgia, a quarterback or something?
Yeah, the dude, he was at USC, JT Daniels. He took over Sam Darnold. When Sam Darnold left, he took over, got hurt, and then Keaton Slovis, whatever his name is the quarterback now, pretty good. Took over, he transferred to Georgia. Or Daniels transferred to Georgia.
So that was also a relevant question, but what I meant to say was Missouri. Didn't Missouri get a really good Didn't they get a QB transfer?
They had Kelly Bryant last year.
That's what it was.
He was a grad transfer.
Okay. I was like, they got a big name player, and I forget who it was, but it was last year. You're right. Okay. I mean, obviously Georgia, like you said, I don't know how Missouri's ranked either. They haven't been good in probably 10 years.
I mean, they're 5-3, so for whatever that's worth. But I'm like, I think we beat Missouri, and I don't think we're that.
They must have beat somebody good. They must have beat a good team last week or the week before or something.
But yeah, I like Georgia as well. I almost said Missouri. I like Georgia as well. Georgia's offense has been playing much better since switching to JT Daniels. Pac-12 game, Utah at number 21 Colorado. I'm not mistaken. Colorado is ranked. They're 4-0. They're a 2-point favorite this weekend. Buffalo's pretty good so far.
Hey, I'll go Colorado.
Yeah, I went with Colorado as well. Look, the dude they hired, his name was Carl Dorrell. He was basically an assistant in the NFL for years. He was the head coach at UCLA 15 years ago. Bounced around the NFL. Now gets to Colorado, and either Mel Tucker's a better coach than we think. The dude who's at Michigan State now, he was at Colorado last year. Either he's a better coach than we think, or this dude knows what he's doing. Maybe both. But I like Colorado. They played pretty well. No reason to not like them. Plus, I don't really know what I'm getting out of Utah.
That was more the reason there. I know that Utah always has good players, but I never know what the whole team will look like.
They're rebuilding. They lost a ton of production from last year.
Yeah.
All right, number 13 Coastal Carolina at Troy. Coastal is a 13.5-point favorite. I went against Coastal last week. I got burned. I went with the BYU Cougars. Coastal's pretty good.
I was about to say, I'm all in on Coastal. Yeah. I love them.
Coastal's good. I went with Coastal as well. Just Troy's struggling right now, ever since Coach Brown left.
Oh, yeah. I thought you said they were kind of good this year, no?
I thought they were, but they're 5-5.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Navy at Army. All right, this is a game that's usually the only game of the weekend. They got to share the spotlight this week with a bunch of teams, though, because of COVID. But Navy at Army. Army is 7-point favorite.
I really want to go Navy, but I'll go Army.
Navy is, I believe, 3-6, something like that. Struggled this season. They've lost 4 games in a row.
Yeah, I'll go Army.
Army is the better team. They're 7-2. Just feel like the better team. I know one thing about this game. It's going to be competitive as hell. I'd bet the under. A lot of rushing yards are going to be tallied. Another game, Wisconsin at Iowa. Or number 16 at Iowa. I'm very surprised. Wisconsin is right now a 1.5-point favorite.
Why are you surprised by that?
because Wisconsin has sucked the last 2 weeks. They have averaged 6.5 points offensively the last 2 weeks. Not 16.5, 6.5.
Yeah, that's pretty.
They've scored
bad.
13 offensive points the last 2 weeks.
What's the spread again? Sorry.
1.5.
Who are you going with?
I went with the Hawkeyes. I was good right now. I was dominating teams. Ever since the 2-0 start.
I think they'll bounce back.
I'm sorry, ever since their 0-2 start. You're gonna go Wisconsin?
Yeah.
All right.
Switch it up on.
For now, I keep putting Houston in my slate of games to pick, and it always gets they always get their game canceled. But Houston, for now, this game is still on. Houston at Memphis. Houston is -5 right now.
I'll go Houston.
You're going to go Houston. So, I'm going Memphis. I don't really have a ton of faith in Memphis. The thing, though, is that they have played recently, and Houston hasn't played in a month. And I'm not exaggerating. I think they last played November 14th, sorry.
So it has been, yeah. Not ideal.
Nope, it is not. Washington at Oregon. Oregon is 6-point favorite.
Oregon. I like Oregon.
I like Oregon in this matchup, not as a team. Yeah, Oregon just has more talent. I don't really know what I'm getting with Washington. I thought they would beat Stanford last week, and they got beat and struggled. So, I'll go Ducks. All right, this is the one I had to sub in after West Virginia got canceled. LSU at number 6, Florida. Florida is a 23-point favorite.
Definitely Florida. They're going to smoke LSU.
Yeah, I don't think LSU fans want this season to end any sooner. Like, I think they're dying to have this season end because it hasn't been a good season for them. They've looked horrible. Then you got the whole sexual abuse allegations against the program. They've already put a self-imposed postseason ban on their program. So I think LSU's in trouble right now. I really do.
Yeah. Honestly, man, I love Ed Orgeron. I think he's like the coolest dude ever, but he's not the answer.
No, I have never thought that about Orgeron. I thought it was a mistake when I hired him.
One of the best teams of all time last year, so I'm not gonna hate on him. He have that reason.
It wasn't the best team. It was the best offense assembled of all time. Go look at their defensive stats. They were giving up about 28 points per game. But they got by with it because Joe Burrow was slinging 60 touchdowns and the offense was averaging 50 points a game.
That's fair. They were just dominating.
Yes,
I
agree.
On defense, I agree with you there. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, LSU, I mean, even though they won the national title last year, I just remember thinking, I still don't think Ed Orgeron's that good. And everyone, was like, you're crazy. Then this year happens, and like, take away Burrow and a guy who's going to be an NFL head coach one day, and Joe, what's his name? I always want to call him Phil Brady. That's not Joe Brady. He's going to be an NFL head coach. Lost a ton of talent. Now look at LSU. They're piss poor.
Yeah, I was going to say, they had like 25 NFL players on their fucking roster last year. Like
Burrow and Justin Jefferson, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Jamar Chase is going to get drafted in the first round this year. They had a ton of dudes drafted on the offensive line like later in the draft, second, third, fourth round in there. Just stupid good talent offensive.
The entire offense was drafted.
Yes. Thaddeus Moss, forgot about him.
Not even free agents. Like, they're all going to go on the 7th round. That team.
Number 15 USC at UCLA. Kind of an underrated game here. USC.
SoCal?
Yes, SoCal. Ranked number 15.
I'll go USC.
So you're going USC. I'm gonna warn you. So UCLA, Chip Kelly appears to have this team heading in the right direction. The reason why I say that, UCLA has a winning record right now. I was surprised when I saw that. Their only 2 losses are a combined 9 points to undefeated Colorado and Oregon, who we know has a lot of talent.
Pretty good, yeah.
So I think UCLA is poised to win this game. I haven't liked the way USC has played this year, but they've always played a team that I'm like, I just can't pick against USC. Like, they played Arizona State, Utah. I'm like, USC should win all these games, and they have so far. Washington State was another one. But UCLA has arguably as much talent. I like Chip Kelly. I still like Chip Kelly as a coach, I should say. I think UCLA pulls off the upset.
I agree. Yeah, or I don't agree, but I hear where you're coming from.
Yeah, just the way the schedule has fallen, like this is, I think, where USC stumbles. They might not lose, but
fair enough.
Virginia at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's a 3-point favorite. Now, I'll tell you though, Jane, these teams could not be any more polar opposite right now. Virginia has won 4 games in a row. Virginia Tech has lost 4 games in a row, and like 6 of their last 8.
So I didn't know Virginia had won 4 in a row, but I did know Virginia Tech was sliding bad, so I was going to take Virginia there.
Yeah, I once, like maybe at first glance, I thought about Virginia Tech. Then I remembered you picked Virginia to beat Boston College last week. I was like, well, I wonder if Virginia's playing well. And sure enough, I looked it up, and they've won 4 in a row. They're averaging over 40 points offensively.
Wasn't VT like 4-1 at one point or something?
Something like that, yeah. They've lost.
They're like 14th ranked in the country or something.
They have been awful the last 4 weeks. If they lose this game, they finish 4-7. I'm not sure Justin Fuente keeps his job.
I was just about to say that, dude. Wasn't that supposed to be like the hire of the fucking year like 3 years ago?
Yeah. But they won 10, 9 games, and then they went, like 7-6, and then I think he went 8-4 last year. Now we're looking at 4-7.
I think you're seeing that he's not a good recruiter. I think you're seeing now that he has a whole draft class in, or a whole recruiting class in. He doesn't have as good of players as Beamer was bringing in.
I guess so. Another game, San Diego State at number 18 BYU. BYU a big favorite though, 17.5 points.
I'll go BYU. They got a couple NFL players, so.
Yeah, that BYU's too good. I don't think San Diego State's going to keep up with BYU's offense. Zach Wilson, keep an eye on him. Probably a first-round pick at quarterback. Game of the week.
San Diego State actually has some pretty crazy alumni. You ever notice that?
What's that?
Being such a random little school. San Diego State has some crazy, athlete alumni, for being such a small...
Well, the big one is Marshall Faulk, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Devontae Adams went there.
No, Fresno State.
No.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. I'm telling you, it was Fresno State. He was there with Derek Carr.
I definitely believe you there, but
You don't want to question me on this, dude.
Completely ignore the fact that I said that.
All right, game of the week. Number 17, North Carolina at number 10, Miami. Miami, a 3-point favorite.
I'll go Miami.
You're going Miami. I'm not confident in it. I'm going with the Tar Heels.
Okay.
I think Miami's defense is a little overrated. I know the Tar Heels can score points. I really like Sam Howell as a quarterback. So, screw it. I'm going to go Tar Heels.
That's not a bad pick.
All right, let's get to the NFL. Where, I'll be honest, dude, if you told me this when I was 13, 15 years old, I think I'm liking the NFL more than college right now.
Oh, always.
If you told me that, I'm enjoying it more. I enjoy watching it more.
I get why the people who like the NCAA more than the NFL, I get why they do. It's not even close to me. It's not even close.
I don't like saying it. I feel dirty just saying it.
And we've said this before. We talked about it the other day where it's like, listen, a great college matchup is just as good as a good NFL matchup. But how often does that happen, dude? Twice a year?
Even less so now because these blue bloods are just separating themselves from the rest of the pack.
Well, I mean, that, and you just go look at the spreads, and it's like, oh, Texas minus 23.5. And it's just like, dude, I don't want to watch that shit. It's
like, I remember when Alabama played Georgia this year. And I can't remember what the spread was, but Georgia was, I think, a top 10 team at the time, maybe top 5. And I did pick Georgia to win, but I just remember watching that game, and I was like, oh my gosh, Alabama's just on another level.
Yeah, it's just like, dude, you look at Bama, Clemson, it looks like Florida might be finally coming back, and fucking Ohio State.
I would say 3 programs have really distanced themselves. Alabama, Clemson, I would argue Ohio State, and then kind of that second tier is, I think, Oklahoma, LSU or Florida, Notre Dame even a little bit.
Man. Listen. I love football, so I'll always love college. It's not close. I can argue this with anybody all day.
Yep.
They're better players. They're better players. There's more parity. The coaching's better.
Yes.
Better athletes. All that.
So let's talk about the NFL. This has to be the best week I've ever had. I'll have to go back and look. I finished 12-3. And
Holy shit! No wonder you called me.
I know. I was on fire last week, and the 3 losses I had. One was the Bears that went up against the coachless Lions. That felt like a no-brainer. I picked the Seahawks over the Giants without Daniel Jones. That felt like a no-brainer. And then the third one was I picked the Titans over the Browns. And if Tennessee doesn't lay an egg, I'd probably get all 3, but just craziness. And you were 10-5. That's not even a bad week. That's a good week.
No, that's a good week.
But yeah, I did catch up with you. So you took a commanding 4-game lead a few weeks ago, and I've slowly chipped away. And this past weekend, I picked Washington over Pittsburgh, which was a huge surprise. And I evened it up. That was the game that evened everything up. So now we are both tied at 130, 61, and 1.
That's honestly insane to think about.
That's under 70%. I think I wrote it today. It was like 67 maybe percent. Still very good. When I set up my blog, my goal was to finish 75%, get 75% right in my college picks, and get 70% in NFL. Well, I've learned that that's not likely. In college, it probably is. But in the NFL, I'm hovering around 62% lifetime, so probably closer to 65% needs to be the goal.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was always my goal. Anyway, let's get started with picks. Tonight's game, we're recording this on Thursday. Patriots at Rams. Rams are a 4.5-point favorite.
Rams are going to win that game.
Yeah, so I'm going Rams as well. They're trying to.
New England's feeling themselves a little bit. They're much better than I thought they'd be. I mean, they kicked the shit out of the Chargers.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, man, they're going to have to score points tonight to win, and I don't think they're going to be able to score enough.
The Rams defense has been very good at home this year. And another, NFL Network has talked about it a little bit, but a very underrated part of this game, I think, is this is the first matchup between these teams since the Super Bowl. And I think Sean McVay is going to be gunning for Belichick after he made him look like a fool in that Super Bowl.
Yep. And they obviously have a much better, roster now than the Super Bowl, so they can push them around. I don't see how Cam Newton's going to complete a pass.
Yeah, he struggled. They won 45-0 last week. I don't think he passed for 100 yards.
No, he didn't. And that just tells you right there how dominating that game was. It's crazy the Chargers are like the 4th pick in the draft right now, and I feel like they do it all year.
It's crazy. They have the 4th pick in the draft, and they have their quarterback.
Yeah, it's awesome.
We think at least.
And they don't have a horrible roster.
No, I think Anthony Lynn's just bad. I don't know.
He is. He's gone.
It's crazy to. I heard Big Cat talk about it. It's crazy. Matt Nagy was Coach of the Year in 2018. The runner-up was Anthony Lynn.
Yeah.
Anthony Lynn's going to lose his job, if I were to bet. I think Matt Nagy's going to lose his job this year. It's crazy. Those two were the two up-and-comers, and now they're going to lose their jobs.
Dougie Peterson was, in the Coach of the Year running in 2017.
We podcasted about it. You wanted him to win Coach of the Year. I argued Sean McVay, which I think is who ended up winning. You said Doug Peterson, which I thought was very fair.
Yeah. I just mean, dude, the fall from grace happens quickly, dude. That's why, as an Eagles fan, you probably don't get it because you're a Packers fan. You're one of the 3 teams that just consistently holds greatness for decades at a time. Dude,
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't argue that at all. From 1970 to 92, the Packers sucked.
Dead. You were your dad's ball sack. You watch nothing. I can't complain either because since 2000, the Eagles have been a top 5 franchise.
True.
So I've watched basically nothing but good football as well. So
the Eagles. I remember when I was young. 10 when I started getting into the NFL, 9, 10, 11. I hated playing the Eagles. The Packers could never beat the Eagles, and I hated them.
Dude, Philly 2001 to 2004 was the best team in football.
They should have won that Super Bowl again. Yes. I know if Terrell Owens is healthy, they probably do win that game against New England. But they should have won that Super Bowl.
I know. Dude, Donovan McNabb threw 3 picks. I don't want to get into it. But.
So we'll get into that later with the Eagles. I was going to talk about Jalen Hurts. Let's get back to some picks. Texans at Bears. Texans are a 1-point favorite right now.
Texans are going to win that game.
Yeah, I went with the Texans as well. I see this about a lot of teams, but I cannot put any faith in the Bears right now. They are a mess. They've lost 6. It's crazy. 6 weeks ago, they were 5-1 and leading the NFC North.
Yeah. Yep. And it's just, dude, honestly, that game might not even be that close. It's just going to come down to straight up quarterback play, and Deshaun Watson's playing lights out. And
it's crazy how he's keeping them afloat. Not even afloat because they still suck this year. But without him, they'd be 0-12.
I need to apologize to Deshaun.
Yes, you do. I'm a Deshaun Watson truther.
I do. Well, hold on. I would have like I never said he was not good or anything. I just thought like people were throwing him in top 5 consistently, and I'm like, dude, no, he's not. Go look at his stats, but it's like he really is. I mean, he is.
He has the number 2, I believe, passer rating of all time.
I think him and Josh Allen are the new elite guys who weren't elite last year, in my opinion. I don't think Deshaun Watson was elite this year.
Hey, we all know how I feel about Josh Allen. I said over the weekend that he's my new Carson Wentz. I got to jump ship with Carson Wentz.
I'm not exaggerating when I say this. He's my favorite part of the NFL. Josh Allen.
I just love it because we were both right about him. We both liked him. And here he is balling out.
I said he should have went number 1 in that draft. I said it.
You did. You did.
It was a lucky guess. And, in your defense, you were very high on him as well.
I was. I thought he'd be more of a project, and he was.
He was. He was a project.
He was.
It worked. They got an A on the project. Yep. They developed the shit out of him.
Brian Daboll, Buffalo's offensive coordinator, has got to be on some short list for head coach.
Dude, they said the Eagles should consider him if they keep Wentz because of what he did with Josh Allen.
We'll get into the Eagles in a second. Cowboys at Bengals. Cowboys are a 3.5-point favorite.
Cowboys are going to win, but Jesus Christ, I don't know if I've ever heard a worse matchup in NFL history.
I was pretty split on this. Just because I can't. The Cowboys are bad, but the Bengals are also bad. They've scored. I forget what it is. I don't know. I can't remember, but they've been awful offensively the last month, even with Joe Burrow before he went down. I got to go Cowboys. They're at least playing a little better.
I'm pretty sure Mixon's out and everything, too.
Who's that?
Joe Mixon is out, too. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Well, yeah. I just think Cowboys are bad, but they're at least playing a little better. They were in it with Baltimore for at least a quarter and a half or 2 quarters.
Their biggest problem, I mean, obviously the offense hasn't been crazy since Dak's been out, but their biggest problem is obviously their defense, and I don't see the Bengals just charging up and down the field for them. So
not without Burrow and if Mixon's out.
That's going to be like a 13-16 game. That's going to be a very shit game.
Cardinals at Giants. Cardinals a 2-point favorite.
Dude, the Cardinals have been slipping. I really want to pick the Giants, but I'll go Cardinals.
So, from what I've read, it sounds like Daniel Jones is going to play.
Yeah.
If he does, I think the Giants would win. If he doesn't, I still think the Giants have a decent chance of winning.
Nah, I do too. They're hot right now.
Cardinals are a Hail Mary pass away from being
500.
Under 500. 5 and 7. They're a Hail Mary pass from winning 5 games in a row and being 5 and 7, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm going Giants.
I really want to, but I just their defense is playing well, man. But I'm going to go with Kyler.
So, and he hasn't played all that well either since injuring his shoulder.
Yeah.
So I skipped one over by accident. Chiefs at Dolphins. Chiefs a 7-point favorite.
Chiefs are going to win that, but I think the Dolphins cover.
James, the Dolphins will not only cover. I'm picking them outright. I'm going outright Dolphins.
Whoa.
This is one I'm plopping my balls on the table. I don't care anymore.
Dude,
look. In all seriousness,
you called major upsets 2 weeks in a row.
I know.
I'll hand you that.
In all seriousness, the Chiefs have not looked particularly great the last few weeks. They've kind of been sleepwalking against lesser opponents. It happened against the Broncos. It happened with the Panthers before their bye week, which I kind of looked past because, maybe you're focused on the bye week. But even since then, they've kind of sleepwalked through it. Except they did beat up on Tampa Bay for a half or two. Or not for 2 halves, but for 1 half at least. But, look, you can't go into Miami against a very well coached team and Brian Flores and sleepwalk through that. I think Brian Flores is going to have a good game plan.
No, I agree, and that's why I think it's going to be close because of coaching. I think, Flores is damn good. He's not Andy Reid, but he's close. But at the end of the day, I just have a very hard time seeing Tua scoring more points than Mahomes, and that's what it's going to come down to ultimately. So, I almost agree with you, but I can't bet against this.
No, that's fair. I feel like an idiot just for saying it.
Yeah. But no, I mean, dude, that's definitely an upset game right there. Yeah. It is.
Vikings at Bucks. Bucks are a 6.5 point favorite.
Dude, I really want to go Vikings.
No, you don't.
I'm gonna go Bucks, but I would go as far as to say I guarantee the Vikings cover that spread.
Maybe. I'll give you that. Maybe. But Bucks are coming off a bye week. They've lost 3 out of 4. I think they're going to come back pissed off this week.
Yeah.
They need a win.
Brady will be nice and refreshed, and so will Gronk, and so will some of the veterans and stuff. So, yeah.
Not only do I need the Bucks to win this. I need the Bucks to win this because Green Bay clinches the division this week with a win and Vikings loss. So I need it to happen. So I'm going Bucks. Broncos at Panthers. Panthers a 3-point favorite.
Broncos are just uninspiring right now, man.
Are we sure they shouldn't look to replace Drew Lock?
They should look
get
at
a new quarterback.
They should look at Carson Wentz. The Bears should look at Carson Wentz, and the Colts should look at Carson Wentz. I'm not saying actually trade for him, but they should do their homework.
I agree. Yeah, I'm going Panthers as well. They're also coming off a bye. I think Matt Rule might be even the better coach here. They're just a better team right now. Titans at Jaguars. I'll go ahead and say Titans. Jaguars are very bad.
Yep, Titans are going to be pissed after last week, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be at Mike Vrabel's team this week.
No, he's the type of coach that even NFL players are scared to piss off.
Yeah.
That's why I like him. He is, dude. He's a fucking hard-ass dude. I like him a lot.
Dude, he was on Hard Knocks back when he was an assistant with Houston. I couldn't stand him on Hard Knocks. He was such an asshole.
Oh, he is an asshole. Fuck yeah, dude. That's why he runs a tight ship over there, bro. Because they respect him for that.
Like I remember watching him. Like I couldn't stand playing for him. He was such a douche.
I love when former players play because we both know you don't have to play NFL football to be a great NFL coach, but like the respect factor is so much higher when your coach is a Super Bowl champ.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I don't think Vrabel's like maybe borderline Hall of Fame. He's not a Hall of Famer, right?
I don't think so. Teddy Bruschi, I would say there's a lot of there's more Hall of Famers on that defense than people realize.
Yeah,
I mean Richard Seymour is a Hall of Famer. I think Teddy Bruschi's a Hall of Famer. I think Ty Law's a Hall of Famer. Didn't they have a safety that was really good? Maybe not.
No, I'm not calling, but
not that I can think of right now.
No, I agree though, and I think that the Super Bowl rings, but you have to remember they used him as a tight end too. Remember how many touchdowns?
Dude, he would always line up as a tight end.
Dude, he might be like one of those players that like sneaks in like in his last year of eligibility.
Well, if he keeps coaching, and I think he's a Super Bowl. He could be a Super Bowl winning head coach. He'll definitely get in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, he'll definitely get in that. Yeah. I agree.
Colts at Raiders. Colts are a 3-point favorite. This is, to quote, pardon my take, this is very much a loser leaves town game. Yeah. I don't see the loser of this game making the playoffs.
No, I think this is are we sure they're a good game? Because I don't think technically the loser actually leaves town. I think both of these teams, you can make a real good argument that they're really good. You can make a pretty good argument that they're pretty average.
Yeah. Can't really figure out either. Raiders should have lost last week if it weren't for Greg Williams.
They're not consistent. The Colts, if they play their best game, can beat any team.
Colts are fairly consistent, I feel like. But I know what I'm going to get from them.
They're consistently bad at quarterback.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they're consistently average at quarterback. So I'm going to go ahead and say I took the Colts here. Frank Reich's the better coach. I think they're just playing better right now. Plus, it looks like Vegas is going to be without Josh Jacobs. And just if you look at the numbers, when he's out, this offense struggles, and he's their best player. Exactly, best offensive player. So you're going Colts as well?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go Colts there as well.
All right. All right. Easy one. Jets at Seahawks. I don't see the Seahawks dropping a game to New York at home, back-to-back weeks. Did I say Seahawks are a 13.5-point favorite? I'd hammer that.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty bad, dude. They just last week was their all right, let's give it our all and try to win this game, and now they fucking hate Greg Williams even though he's fired and all that.
You're talking about the Jets. I thought you were talking about the Seahawks.
No.
All right, so let's talk about your Eagles. Saints at Eagles. Saints right now are a 6.5-point favorite. James, I feel like I say this every damn week. I wouldn't sleep on the Eagles in this game.
And every week you've been wrong.
I know. In my defense, I don't think I've picked the Eagles for like 3 weeks.
No, you haven't. But you have. Because, dude, everybody sits here and goes like, Jesus Christ, they can't keep being this bad. But yeah, they fucking can. I can tell you one thing. The offense will look better because Jalen Hurts is going to complete easy passes, which is what Carson just can't do right now.
I'm not a Jalen Hurts guy, but clearly he gives this team some sort of, spark, so to speak. And yeah, I don't really know if New Orleans knows what they're going to get out of him. Like, I don't know how they're going to game plan because they don't really have much tape. I could see Jalen Hurts going out there and having a pretty good game. And Philadelphia's defense, has been decent this year.
Yeah, dude, Jim Schwartz never has
And I don't trust Taysom Hill. This could be an upset. I'm going to go Saints though, but I'll say the Eagles probably cover.
No, I could realistically see it being an upset, but yeah, I'm definitely going to go Saints as well. Have to.
I need the Eagles to win though.
Because you want that number 1 seed.
I want that 1 seed. Falcons at Chargers, battle of the bad here. Falcons are a 2.5-point favorite.
Falcons Chargers, that's like the matchup of teams that are good and so bad at the same time. Damn, who are you picking?
I want Falcons.
I'll go.
Chargers are just bad.
I'm gonna go Falcons too. I was gonna say I'm gonna go Chargers, but I just can't. They have 3 wins, dude. I can't bet on that team.
They just can't do much right. They can't do hardly anything right. Anthony Lynn can't coach, I guess. I thought he could. The Falcons, at least, are playing somewhat well, like I said about the Cowboys. And their coaching staff is at least trying hard because they're coaching for jobs. They're trying to impress other teams. They're trying to impress the next guy that comes in.
Exactly.
All right, Packers at Lions. Packers are a 7.5-point favorite.
I'm going to go Packers. Lions, man, they can beat, I don't want to say any team in the NFL, but they can actually beat teams when they're on because they have a pretty good offense, man. Like,
if Matt Patricia was still the coach, I'd say maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Patricia always worried me. We always struggled with Matt, except with the exception of this year. We always struggled against Matt Patricia.
Yeah.
But this year we have, and he's gone. I think we win pretty handily. I'm not going to say by 2 scores, but maybe 10 or 11 points.
Yeah, I could see that too.
Washington at the 49ers. 49ers are a 3-point favorite.
Washington's winning that game.
Really?
Yes.
I thought you would go 49ers. Well, here's the thing. I went with Washington as well. I'm going to keep rolling with Washington. They've gotten me this far. They're playing well. Not great, but they're playing well.
I was going to say, they're playing complimentary football.
Yes.
They're well coached. They have a very good game manager, and they have a great defensive line. That's enough to win a lot of games in the NFL.
I completely agree. And not to mention, I debated going with the 49ers here. I think a second week in Phoenix will really help this team. Because, they had to move from Santa Clara to Phoenix this week. I can see how that would be a mess. I think it'll be a little bit better this week, but I think Washington's defensive front's going to dominate San Francisco.
Yeah, agreed.
Monday Night Football, Ravens at Browns. Good game. Look, probably the best Monday night game we're going to get this year. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah. I think this is going to be the game where the Ravens kind of bounce back and show. I think they had a little bit of a get-right game against Dallas. Now, obviously, they're just way more talented than Dallas, but I think they finally realized, oh, dude, we can literally pound the rock on absolutely anybody in the league. Let's get back to that. But so can the Browns, though, man. It's going to come down to who has a better day at quarterback. And right now, you would say that's Baker Mayfield, but I'm gonna go Ravens.
I don't hate that pick. I really don't. Just because I can't see the Browns being 13-3. They're 9-3 right now. A loss has to come somewhere. I don't know where.
They're not as good as the record. They're not bad. They're a playoff team for sure.
The Ravens have a good defense. I want to take the Ravens, but the Browns look good last week.
They do, dude. They look good.
Kevin Stefanski's got this team rolling. I'm gonna stick with the Browns at least for another week. If they lose, then I'll be off on the Browns. I'll be like, they can't win against a good team.
I think Baker's the type of player who's really good at building on performances. So he might keep going with this. I hope he does. I want Baker to be good.
Game of the week: Steelers at Bills. Bills are a 2.5-point favorite.
It's in Buffalo.
It is in Buffalo.
That's gonna be tough, man. What are you thinking? Let me hear your thought process here.
So, I actually didn't have to think very long at all about this one.
Thanks, Bills.
I'm going Bills. Pittsburgh has not looked particularly good its last two outings. I know scheduling has a lot to do with that. Playing on a Wednesday. I had an argument with a friend about this because he was like, he was giving me shit for picking Washington. I'm like, it's a short week. He said, but they get more time to prepare for that game on a Monday night from Wednesday than they do Thursday to Sunday. I'm like, yeah, but they at least are in a routine for those Sundays and Thursdays. They don't know what it's like to play on a Wednesday and then get 4 days straight and then play on a Monday. That's it's all about routine for these guys.
Exactly.
And that was out of their routine. So I know that factors in a lot with Pittsburgh's recent performance last 2 weeks. But also, they don't run the ball well. I saw at some point in that game, I think they threw the ball 40 times. They got to start running the ball. And they got a lot of running backs banged up. They're dinged up defensively. Bud Dupree's hurt. Devin Bush is hurt. The injuries are piling up for Pittsburgh, and it's very worrisome.
I already thought they were quite overrated anyway.
I think they're good, but yeah.
No, dude, you don't go 11-1 if you're not.
Exactly, and that's what I argued with my friend because he said, the whole time, Pittsburgh, that whole game, he's like, Pittsburgh's overrated. I'm like, you're not overrated if you're 11-0 in the NFL. This ain't college.
Yeah, but I actually kind of agree there. I mean, they're not as good as their record. Now,
yeah, I would agree with that.
Or whatever.
This is.
That's story.
I'm getting Green Bay vibes with the Steelers from 2019 Green Bay vibes, where the schedule wasn't great. They kind of got by with ugly wins.
Yeah, and they're just they are a good team.
They're just hanging around. Next thing you know, they're 13-3, and you're like, how is that team 13-3? So yeah, I'm going Bills. I think the Bills are playing very well. Sean McDermott very well could be the better coach in this matchup.
Yeah.
You're going Bills as well?
Yeah, maybe. But I'm gonna go Bills as well.
All right. So we got some differences. Big one. Actually, that might be the only one. Chiefs and Dolphins is the big one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you took the Cardinals. I took the Giants. That could be one. Panthers, Titans, Colts. I think we have the same. I was really banking on you picking the 49ers over Washington.
Nah,
Oh no, Ravens, Browns. So we got three differences.
Okay.
So we got some separation here potentially. Then we got 3 more weeks after this. Then it's on to the playoffs.
We're getting there.
So, anything else you want to discuss? I know it's been a busy week with Jalen Hurts being named the starter.
Go Birds.
Oh, I love the Super Bowl champ shirt.
Yeah, I want to see what he got, man. We drafted him. You got to see what he got. So.
Yeah, I get it. I feel the same way about both opinions. I've seen people say fire Doug Peterson. I've seen people say move on from Carson Wentz. I get both opinions. And I'm not sure you could go wrong either way. I would probably keep Doug Peterson around another year.
Dude, if they keep Howie Roseman, nothing else matters.
I think that's the move you got to make. You got to get rid of Howie Roseman before you get rid of coach. This dude and I know we have talked about what have you done for me lately. This dude has won a Super Bowl just 3 years ago.
It's all about your arrow.
I completely agree. I think you give him at least 1 more year.
Exactly. I mean, dude, even if they went 8-8 this year, but like it was like, all right, they had a few injuries, like
Yeah.
they'll be fine next year. It's one thing, but it's just, dude, they've consistently gotten worse since that Super Bowl year. Howie Roseman
That's
hasn't
fair.
drafted a good player.
That's definitely like I'm not even going to hesitate. Get rid of Howie Roseman right now. If they got rid of Doug Peterson, I'm not sure it would be the wrong move. You want to bring in something new, I get it, but
he needs to give up play calling. He needs to, because he's too wrapped up in that. He's making bad decisions everywhere else. It is what it is.
He does. He's very aggressive, which is one of the reasons why I like him. I do think sometimes I'm like, why that aggressive?
Why do it?
Yeah,
Exactly.
why go for, I understood there was one call he made in the Super Bowl. He went for it on 4th down deep inside his own territory. But I was like, I get it. Your defense hasn't stopped Tom Brady all day. Go for it. Keep the ball.
Yeah.
If you don't get it, fine. They scored, which is what they've done all day. The whole Philly thing. I loved some of it, but I feel like it's wearing off at this point.
No, I mean, it's just, dude, he doesn't have the balls anymore. Wentz isn't playing well. But, dude, the ultimate reason, and this is what people don't get, and I try to explain, a lot of my friends just hate on Wentz really bad because they know I'm an Eagles fan and all this shit. And I'm just like,
I still look. I've given up on Wentz. It's a
no. I want him to go somewhere else and start.
I know.
But it's just like, dude, like when you have a GM that is just consistently giving you no weapons. I mean, dude, he's drafted one Pro Bowler in the last 5 years, and it was Wentz. He was obviously not a Pro Bowler anymore. I mean, that's just, dude, I could draft a Pro Bowler.
You didn't respond to this. My friends legitimately said to me, Philadelphia drafts better than Green Bay. And I was like,
Philly is the worst drafting team.
I was like, you clearly haven't paid attention to the Eagles drafts the last few
Dude,
years.
look at their drafts. Since 2010, I'll tell you the good players they drafted. Cox, Ertz, Lane Johnson, Brandon Graham, Carson Wentz maybe. That's it. In
That's a
10
hard
years,
maybe.
bro. In 10 years.
Yeah, look, I was getting into an argument. They were giving me shit for this 2020 draft class for Green Bay, which whatever. And then he legitimately said the Eagles draft better than the Packers. Yeah. And I was like, this year maybe.
That's so false.
And I was like, and one of them said Jalen Reagor has more touchdowns than the Packers' first 2 picks. And I was like, okay. I beg you to look past this year. Go to last year. Go to the year before. Last year's draft is looking very good for us. Rashawn Gary's finally coming around. He's starting over Preston Smith, who we're paying all that money to. Darnell Savage is coming into his own at safety, looking like one of the best safeties in football right now. Plus, he was all rookie. Elton Jenkins has started just about every game, or not every game, every position on the offensive line. Looks like an all-pro player. I'm getting to him. Jace Sternberger was hurt all of last year, so this is really his rookie year. He's played well at times. Kingsley Keke has like 6 sacks this year in the interior. This 2019 draft class for Green Bay looks very good. On top of that, 2018 we get Jair Alexander, who very well might be a top 5 corner in the game. Josh Jackson has played well, finally, when he's gotten out there. I have shit on him for 2 years because he hasn't done anything other than special teams, which whatever, special teams is important. He gets in this year after Kevin King gets hurt. Plays well. I'm like, holy shit, we have something in this kid. The year before that, we get Kevin King, good player. Also the year before that, we got Aaron Jones in the 5th round, very good player. He's not going to be in town anymore, but he's a very good player.
You could say we got Jair Alexander and Aaron Jones in the last 3 or 4 years, and you would have already beaten the Eagles draft classes. That's serious. That's serious. That's a fact.
Yeah, look, they don't know football. We know football. We know football. They don't know football. I'm a man. You're clearly walking around your apartment. I'll let you go.
I'm about to go to the gym. That's all.
All right, later.
Later, man.